everybody. Welcome or welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing another Dark Academia book recommendations list and lookbook. I released another video like this last year, and the basics of that one was I gave you 5 books that I recommended and discussed, and then built looks based upon those books. So that is what I will be doing today. I'm going to be recommending books in the dark academia genre, or at least can be conflated within the dark academia genre, and I will be discussing them, recommending them, and then I will be showing off a look that I created inspired by the book. As I said in the last video, I don't really follow the exact strict rules of the dark academia aesthetic or genre. I can put whatever I want into it. I don't really care about the rules in it. I just enjoy the aesthetic and enjoy using the term to make it possible to find this video. So let's just have fun and not really worry about the details, okay? This time around, I will be recommending 4 regular books and only 1 classic, where in the last video I recommended 2 classics. I've just read too many dark academia style books this time around to recommend, so the first book that I will be recommending to you today is A Discovery of Witches by Deborah Harkness, published in 2011. I don't have a copy of this book to show you, so enjoy my hands again. A Discovery of Witches is about a young witch named Diana, who is an associate professor at Oxford University. She teaches history. And while she is looking through the library book stacks one day, she comes across a book that she accidentally magically summoned. She returns the book, but then she realizes that every single supernatural creature within the area is desperately looking for that book, and they will kill for it. And they know that Diana is the only one that has been able to summon this magical book. So the hunt is on against Diana. Along the way, she meets this vampire geneticist named Matthew Claremont, and they develop a romance, and then the rest of the book is basically them falling in love amidst this thrilling mystery about where the book is and who wants it. This book is extremely, detailed and well written. I really like all the descriptions of everything, but of course the thing that makes me love this book so much is the goddamn academic description. I miss university so much, so having Diana walking through the book stacks of a library, looking up historical documents and writing her own papers and lectures was just, I want to do that again, even though it tortured me so much. It stressed me out so much, but I miss school. And the setting of the ancient Oxford University, as well as Matthew's old 15th century home later in the book, is just a great, wonderful, dark atmosphere. This isn't the darkest of dark academia books by any sense. There's not really any murder, but there is a lot of magic and fighting and vampire hierarchical systems and witches fighting, and it's just all very, very exciting and romantic and very, very fun. I'm really recommending only the first book in the series because I know the other 2 books in the series sort of go away from the library Oxfordian aesthetic and go more towards the past. Literally, I think they travel through time, but I will be recommending this one as an excellent, just vibey, dark academia in general book. Funnily enough, the author is actually an academic, so she really knows what she's writing about. For the most part, it is extremely realistic. I've actually read a few of her articles in university while I was studying. She did medicine. It was very, very interesting, and I do recommend seeking out her academic work as well as her fictional. She's a really cool person. The second book that I have to recommend is The Historian by Elizabeth Kostova. First published in 2005, this novel is about a young woman who discovers that her father had been searching for the real-life Dracula his whole academic career. He was also a history student? Turned professor? I believe that's it. And he was running around Romania and Transylvania trying to look for the historical Vlad the Impaler or Dracula, and while she is following the same mystery, she encounters a few things that seem a bit paranormal. Could vampires really exist? Could Dracula really exist? She's got to follow the clues and find out for herself. Now, many people have called this book the Da Vinci Code, but with Dracula, but it's a bit more literary than that. It's less of a pulpy kind of popular fiction book. It's more deep, it's more detailed, descriptive, very, very realistic, even with the vampire stuff. And for the most part, I believe that there is some historical accuracy. Obviously, Vlad the Impaler was never the inspiration for Dracula, just his name. What I enjoy about this book is that it's not too action-based. A lot of exciting things do happen, but a lot of it is academic based. She has to go through the library to look for her clues. She has to properly use library systems in order to find historical documents and accurately look through them appropriately to find what she is looking for. I also enjoy that this is an epistolary novel. She is reading her father's letters and writing in her own diary, so it is very much an homage to Dracula, the original novel, which is itself an epistolary novel. I do really, really enjoy this book. Once again, it's the historian in me, the thing that I studied in university, and I just really miss going through libraries, especially now in the middle of a pandemic. I just really, really like this book. It's a little bit slower, it's a little bit calmer, and there's less murder than my usual dark academia recommendations, but finding a vampire dark academia book that is so literary and detailed and just nice to be in, they travel a lot of places in here too, and the descriptions of these places are very beautiful. So if you enjoy writing about traveling, that as well. So I recommend The Historian by Elizabeth Kostova. Now this third book is the book that I have rated the least amount of stars out of all of my dark academia recommendations, and I feel like people will know which book it is, but I'm still going to recommend it anyway because I think it would be a good thing to try for yourself. Don't listen to me sometimes, you know? I wanted to like this book so much. This is Ninth House by Leigh Bardugo. I know, it's the Leigh Bardugo, you know, the author of all those YA books and the Six of Crows duology, which I still haven't read. How could this be? How could I have only given this book 3 stars if I even gave it that? Well, let me explain why. This book was first published in 2019, and it is about a university student named Alex who gets a free ride to go to Yale solely because she can see ghosts. So she is assigned to take care of all these supernatural occurrences happening at Yale because it is such an old school. There is a lot of demonic presence and ghostly presence, and she works together with the older person, Darlington, who has been in charge of doing the same thing himself for years. I wanted this book to be everything that I ever wanted in a book ever. I wanted the dark university vibes, I wanted the murder mystery, I wanted a really cool female lead pairing up with the snarky little like sidekick man and having a really cool relationship, and I wanted demons and ghosts and other creatures and just really, really cool stuff, but ultimately this book reads like the first half of a bigger book. And I don't know what happened. I understand that there are going to be more books in this series published, but this one doesn't even feel like a whole book in itself. It just feels like the explanation for a much bigger draft, which honestly could have been what happened. They could have cut down her work. Either way, it did a lot of setup and did not provide a lot of payoff. Plus, it was a little bit confusing to get into at first with 2 conflicting time periods, that being just literally months apart, but it still confused me because they each went back and forth. So it took a little bit to get into. Plus, I was not a huge fan of how the ghosts work in this universe. Honestly, I can't really complain about it since it's its own made-up thing. Ghosts really aren't real, and if they aren't bothering anybody. Either way, I had a lot of complaints in this book and it just did not meet up to my expectations. But I highly encourage you to read this for yourself, see if you actually like it. Because, funnily enough, the vibes in here are really, really good. This book has a lot of potential, and if another book comes out of it eventually, I want to try it out and see if, once I have been introduced to the universe, that I could get into a better story right away. The plot of this book is just too fast. The murder mystery they're taking care of, it doesn't flow properly like a really good crime procedural. It doesn't. It just is not good, and I'm so upset that I don't like this. But The vibes in here are really good, and the demons introduced at the very end are very intriguing, and I do want to know more. So I am hesitantly recommending Ninth House by Leigh Bardugo. Try it out for yourself, see if you like it, because I wanted to so bad. Okay, book number 4 on this list is going to be the weirdest and oddest seeming book to recommend to you, but it is one of my favorite books of the year that I read this year. It is insane how good this book is, and I want as many people to read it as possible. This is Bunny by Mona Awad, published in 2019. So this book is about a English university student named Samantha who is in a graduate program for writing, and she is in a small graduate program with 5 other girls, and they're all in this little friendship group, and they call each other Bunny, and they're all really, really overtly feminine and sickly sweet and very, very annoying, and she hates them. But then one night, they invite her to this salon night that they have where they share each other's writing, and she falls deeply into this friend group, and things get culty and magical and dark, and it's so good. I normally do not read books like this. I do not read weirdly written, quirkily written, weirdly magical and metaphorical and weird culty books. But oh my god, I am so glad I picked this book up. This book is incredible. The writing in here is sick and sticky and syrupy and sarcastic and twisted and sexual. It is just incredible to go through this book and just enjoy the wild ride that you go on. It's not a very long book, it's only about 300 pages, but I was hooked the entire time. I am obsessed with this book, and I am obsessed with the stupid, weird, quirky, and terrifying things that happen in this book. I do warn there is instances of animal abuse. That's the only thing that kind of icked me out. It's too good though, and it fits very well into the context of the story. You understand why it occurs, and it is part of the darkness and the disgusting, twisted nature of this book. This book is an excellent look at freaky friend groups and the differences in femininity and the process of actually writing a novel or writing any form of work. The author is Canadian, and she's gorgeous, by the way, but she's also just an incredible author, and I do want to seek out her other books. She's got a new one out called All's Well, and I want to look at that one as well. So I'm supporting a local author. I don't know how local she is to me, same country. But oh my god, please read this. Please read this. It is sick and twisted, and it is such a quirky addition to the dark academia genre, and I just love it so much. So much. I can't recommend it enough. And I can't wait to do a look based on one of the bunnies, because they all have different aesthetics. We've got the rich girl, the sweet girl, the goth girl, the punk girl, so I cannot wait to see what I come up with for this book. Culty stuff, so much fun. Oh my god, it is like the sickest form of Alice in Wonderland you have ever read. It is just a disgusting fairy tale, and I love it so much. Please read it. And the final book that I have to recommend for you today, the 5th one, is of course the classic. This one is not set in any academic setting, but oh my god, is it not dark academia adjacent. It's Wuthering Heights by Emily Bronte, of course. Wuthering Heights was published in 1847, and it is about a Gothic house and the family that lives in or near it, and how they totally ruin each other's lives because they're all just obsessed with each other and want revenge, and they're in love with each other. And the 2 main characters, Kathy and Heathcliff, are sick and twisted and nasty and romantic. It is the ultimate Gothic novel. Essentially, Heathcliff is found on the streets and taken in by Catherine's father, and they're raised together, and they fall in love, and it is deeply romantic. They literally want to die for each other, but then things go wrong, they marry other people, so they spend the rest of the novel ruining each other's lives and making each other feel horrible. And then eventually, there's ghosts that haunt each other, there's people that want to sleep with, not have sex with, sleep with each other's corpses, and there's just a lot of deep emotion and the moors, and it's just so gothic and atmospheric and dark and just dramatic. I need dramatic. I need people to feel the most feelings they've ever felt in their life and weep and weep and weep at the sky and the stars and curse each other and ruin each other's lives because you just love each other so much. Gothic. It is so good. The framing device is a bit boring, and one of the characters speaks in a dialect that no longer exists anymore. My book doesn't have a translation for what he says, so I was literally going in blind and confused, but other editions do have translations of this. I believe Scottish or Southern British dialect. Either way, please get a different edition other than this one. I got this one at Chapters. This book not only has the dark atmosphere that a dark academia book should have, but it also has supernatural elements. I realize that all the books that I recommend today are dark academia with supernatural elements. I promise I did not think that through. I am very stupid, so I'm only discovering it now at my last recommendation. So I do recommend Wuthering Heights. Please read it outside of your English course context because it is just a gothic excellence. I would argue that this is camp because they're just screaming and crying and dramatic with each other, and some of these romantic speeches go bonkers and beyond, and it is just so delicious. So I recommend Wuthering Heights by Emily Bronte. And that's it. Those are my 5 new dark academia recommendations. I could lie and say that I purposefully connected all of these books thematically by having dark academia books with a supernatural twist, but I just discovered that for myself, and I don't want to lie to you guys. I want you all to know that I am something called pathetic, so there you have it. I hope you enjoyed watching this video, and stay tuned for the 5 looks that I will be showing based off of these books. so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Let me know if you want more videos like this. Recommend more books to me so I can share them with you guys. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye bye!